Maybe you are still trying to become financially okay, still building, still saving, still trying to get your life into a place where every problem does not feel like a threat, or maybe things have already started improving. Income is higher than before. Business is moving. Work feels more stable. People now describe you as responsible, disciplined, or the one who figured it out. But whether you are still climbing or already ahead, one pressure can quietly follow you: family. Because the moment people believe you are the strongest one, they start expecting you to carry more. An emergency appears. A bill needs attention. Bad decisions create damage. Then the message comes: you are the only one I can ask. Slowly, money stops feeling like a personal goal. It becomes proof that you should rescue people. This is the hidden cost of becoming the successful one in your family. Most people know this pressure exists. Very few understand how deep it really goes. Because the cost is not only money. That is the obvious part. The real cost is hidden in what happens after your family starts seeing you as the strongest one. And if you miss that, you can spend years helping everyone move forward while your own life stays unfinished. This is where many ambitious people get trapped. They think the goal is simply to make more money. But without boundaries around that money, the more you earn, the more people may quietly assign your income a job before you do. So let's break down the hidden cost of being the successful one in your family. Not so you become cold, not so you stop caring, but so you can help without destroying the person doing the helping. Sign number 1. Your progress becomes public property. In a healthy world, progress would be allowed to be personal: a better job, a small business starting to work, a growing savings account, a decent purchase, a better place to live. One month where bills finally stop choking you. People would simply be happy. But in many families, progress does not stay private for long. Once people notice improvement, they begin to calculate what it means for them, not always with bad intentions. Sometimes it is quiet, emotional, almost automatic. A promotion becomes school fees. A nice purchase becomes proof of extra money. A growing business turns into a reason every emergency should reach your phone first. But they do not see the pressure behind the progress. The debt still being paid, the bills being managed, the sacrifices made to reach that level, the fragile foundation still being built. Only the visible part gets noticed. And the visible part says, you are doing better. In their mind, better means available. This is one of the first hidden costs. Progress becomes something people feel entitled to discuss, measure, judge, and request access to. You cannot simply improve quietly. Improvement becomes family information. People ask how much you make, what you bought, why you are not helping more, how your lifestyle can exist, while their problems remain unsolved. If you are not careful, guilt attaches itself to every sign of progress. You hesitate to enjoy what you earn because someone else is struggling. Good news gets hidden because it may turn into a request. Celebration feels dangerous because comfort might look like selfishness. This is how success becomes emotionally complicated. The same thing you worked for begins to create pressure. Progress was supposed to bring peace. Instead, it made people notice you. And once they notice you, they may start assigning responsibilities to your money. This does not mean family is evil. Money changes the way people see capacity. When someone believes you have capacity, they may stop asking whether you have limits. That is where the problem begins. You can be doing better and still not be free. More income does not mean the foundation is complete. From the outside, stability may look solid, while one emergency could still push everything backward. But if people only see the progress, they may not respect the process. So, the first lesson is simple. Do not let visible progress become automatic access. You can love your family and still keep parts of your financial life private. Every increase does not need an announcement. Every purchase does not need a defense. Every no does not require you to prove you are still struggling. Progress is not public property. It came from choices, discipline, sacrifice, and risk. If everyone else defines what it should be used for, you may never get to use it to build the life you are working toward. Sign number 2. You feel guilty enjoying your own money. This one is quiet but heavy. You finally buy something for yourself. A better phone, a good meal, a trip, new clothes, a better apartment. Maybe simply one month where bills do not make you panic. Instead of fully enjoying it, a strange guilt appears. You think about who could have used that money. A need back home, a person who asked for help last week, the judgment that might come if people saw you spending on yourself. So even when the money belongs to you, the enjoyment does not feel fully yours. This is not just financial guilt. It is survival guilt. When people around you are still struggling, doing better can feel like escaping a burning room while others remain inside. Because you love them, part of you feels wrong for breathing fresh air. That is where family pressure becomes psychological. Nobody has to say anything in the moment. You already carry their possible disappointment inside your head. How can you buy that when family needs help? You are changing. You think you are better now? You forgot where you came from. Those imaginary accusations can become so painful that you begin limiting your own joy before anyone else speaks. Spending becomes quiet. Celebration becomes quiet. Comfort gets hidden. Progress gets downplayed. Sometimes you even give away money you needed just to feel morally clean again. This is dangerous because guilt can disguise itself as loyalty. You start believing that if you are not suffering with everyone, you are betraying them. But suffering is not loyalty. Staying broke so other people feel comfortable is not love. Refusing to enjoy the rewards of discipline does not automatically help anyone. It only teaches the mind that progress is something to apologize for. And if progress becomes something to apologize for, keeping it becomes difficult. Every time you rise, guilt pulls you back down. This does not mean selfishness is the answer. It means responsibility needs maturity. You can care about people and still enjoy your own money. Family can receive help without owning every extra coin. You can remember where you came from without living as if moving forward is a crime. One of the hardest lessons is this: family struggle does not cancel the right to build peace. If the money was earned honestly, planned carefully, and used after real responsibilities were handled, you are allowed to benefit from your effort. Misery is not proof of loyalty. Financial discomfort should not become the price of being accepted. Guilt is not always evidence that you are wrong. Sometimes it is simply the feeling of outgrowing an old role. Sign number 3, you become the emergency plan for everyone. Every family has emergencies: medical bills, school problems, rent pressure, business losses, debt, food, funerals, repairs, sudden travel, unexpected problems that arrive with no warning. In a healthy family, support can be beautiful. People help each other. They show up. They carry one another through hard moments. The problem begins when one reliable person quietly becomes the emergency plan for everyone else. No meeting is held. Nobody officially says, "From now on, this is your responsibility." It just happens. You answer. You send something. You try to solve it. You feel guilty when you refuse. Soon, everyone learns the same lesson. When pressure rises, call you. At first, it may even feel good. Being needed can feel like respect. You are useful, strong, reliable, the one who can solve things. But after a while, being needed starts to feel like being trapped. People stop preparing. Planning becomes weaker. Hard questions get avoided. Emergency funds never get built. Why? Because you have become the fund. Your discipline becomes their backup plan. Savings turn into a safety net for other people's instability. And if your own life is still under construction, this can quietly destroy you. Every time you move forward, another emergency pulls money backward. Saving gets interrupted. Investment gets delayed. Rest becomes impossible. Plans keep adjusting around problems you did not create. This is how the successful one becomes financially tired, not from carelessness, from allowing everyone else's emergency to enter the budget. The painful part is that emergencies are hard to refuse. Luxury requests are easier to deny. But when a person is stuck, sick, hungry, stranded, behind, or desperate, the heart gets involved. Responsibility rises quickly. Dependent people learn this. Manipulative people learn it even faster. Emergency language opens the hand faster than ordinary requests. So every request becomes urgent. Every problem becomes serious. Every need becomes immediate. But two things must be separated: a real emergency and a repeated pattern. A real emergency is unexpected, serious, and rare. A repeated pattern is when the same person keeps having emergencies because the behavior creating them never changes. One crisis may deserve help. The same crisis every month needs structure. Helping without structure can become enabling, and enabling is not kindness. It is paying for a pattern to continue. This is where limits become necessary. Decide what kind of emergencies you can help with. Set an amount before the pressure arrives. Know how often help is possible. Accept that some support may come as advice, planning, or direct problem solving, not cash. Because if you become everyone's emergency plan, eventually your own emergency will come. Then, the painful question appears: who will rescue you? Sign number 4, your dreams keep getting delayed by other people's problems. This is the hidden cost people rarely calculate. When money goes out to solve a family problem, the loss is not only the amount sent, it is also what that money was supposed to become: savings, business capital, an emergency fund, a course fee, rent buffer, investment, health checkup, equipment, a future home. One step toward breathing room. Because someone needed help, it disappeared. On the surface, the sacrifice may look small. Repeated sacrifice becomes a delayed life. 1 month turns into 6. 6 months turns into 2 years. 2 years becomes a personality. You become the person who is always almost ready. Almost ready to start the business. Almost ready to move out. Almost ready to save properly. Almost ready to invest. Almost ready to rest. Almost ready to build something personal. But every time the door gets closed, another family problem knocks. Because you care, you turn around. This is where resentment begins. Not loud resentment, quiet resentment. The kind that appears when someone thanks you without understanding the cost. When people call you blessed, but cannot see the exhaustion. When another request comes and you already know saying yes means delaying yourself again. Then guilt arrives because resentment feels wrong. You tell yourself, it is family, I should not feel this way. But resentment is not always proof of selfishness. Sometimes it proves you keep giving from places that were supposed to be protected. Giving from surplus feels clean. Giving from foundation starts to feel like self-betrayal. Many people are not giving from surplus. They are giving from rent money, savings, sleep, business capital, the future version of themselves that needed that money. That is why the cost feels heavy. You are not only helping with today's problem, you are postponing tomorrow's freedom. This is the part most people do not see. A request can sound small to the person asking, but to someone building, that amount may be exactly what keeps consistency alive. The amount needed to avoid debt, to invest, to stay on track, to finally create breathing room. So when family says, it is only this much, they may not understand that only this much is part of a larger plan. That is why the foundation must be protected first. Not because dreams matter more than family. Because if the foundation collapses, the ability to help collapses too. A broke helper becomes another person in need. A drained helper becomes resentful. A delayed helper becomes bitter. A financially unstable helper cannot break the pattern. If long-term help is the goal, generosity must be survivable. Sign number 5. You are praised when you give, judged when you say no. This is one of the clearest signs that family support has become emotionally conditional. When money is given, praise comes easily. Kind, responsible, blessed, mature. The one who remembers family. The one everyone can count on. But once a limit appears, the story changes. Proud, selfish, changed, forgotten where you came from. Acting better because of money. No longer caring. This is not ordinary disappointment. It is a loyalty test. The message becomes clear. Your value rises when you give and falls when you set limits. That kind of approval is dangerous because it trains a person to buy belonging. Giving no longer comes only from love. It comes from fear. Fear of judgment. Fear of being called ungrateful. Fear of exclusion. Fear of family conversations happening behind your back. Fear of becoming the villain in a story where all you did was protect a budget. So peace gets purchased. Approval gets purchased. A good image gets purchased. Silence after the word no gets purchased. But love that disappears when money stops is not love in its healthiest form. Respect that only appears when usefulness is available is not respect. Family loyalty that requires ignored limits is not loyalty. It is control-wearing family language. This is where emotional maturity becomes necessary. The first real financial boundary may not be received well, not because the boundary is wrong, because some people benefited from you not having one. They may compare you to someone else, bring up the past, remind you of what they did for you, question your character, act as if one no cancels every yes you ever gave. You have to be ready for that. If a boundary depends on applause, it will not survive. A boundary is not proven by people's reaction. It is proven by what it protects. Rent, savings, stability, mental health, marriage, business, future, peace. If the boundary protects something real, it may still be necessary even when people dislike it. Useful phrases can stay simple. I cannot help with that amount, but I can contribute this. I'm not able to send money this time. My budget for the month is already committed. I can help you think through a plan, but I cannot be the solution every time. I love you, but I cannot keep solving the same problem. Simple, respectful, clear. No attack is needed, no shaming, no long speech. But the habit of treating every no like a courtroom defense has to stop. People who genuinely love you may feel disappointed, but they can eventually respect your limits. Those who only loved your usefulness reveal themselves when usefulness gets boundaries. Sign number 6. You confuse love with financial rescue. This is the deepest one. Family is emotional. When someone you love is struggling, it does not feel like a normal money decision. A no feels like abandonment. Limits feel cold. Questions feel judgmental. Accountability feels harsh. So rescue becomes the default. The debt gets paid. The bill gets covered. The mistake gets fixed. Money is sent. The call is taken. The pressure is absorbed. Because it is family, you call it love. But sometimes it is not love. Sometimes it is fear. Fear of being seen as selfish. Fear of rejection. Fear of becoming the person who made it and did not help. Fear of watching someone suffer. Fear of breaking the family role assigned to you. Real love helps people grow. Rescue can help people avoid growth. Real love supports responsibility. Rescue can protect people from responsibility. Real love gives when it can. Rescue gives even when the giver is being destroyed. So before helping, ask a harder question. Is this making them stronger, or am I just becoming the solution again? Not all help is equal. Sometimes money is the right help. Other times advice is better. A budget plan may be better. A direct payment for the need may be wiser than sending cash. A connection to an opportunity may help more than another bailout. Sometimes the answer is, I can help this once, but next time there needs to be a plan. And sometimes the most loving answer is no. Not a cruel no, a clear no. one that refuses to feed the same cycle. Because when every rescue removes consequences, the pattern does not break. It adapts. The person learns that someone else will absorb the cost. If that someone is always you, love slowly becomes a financial trap. So what should happen instead? Help with structure, not emotion alone. Structure means limits exist before the request arrives. A percentage of income is assigned for family help. Emergency is defined clearly. Loans and gifts are separated. Repeated requests require a plan. Some needs are supported. Others are not, because when emotions are already high, guilt will make the decision for you. And guilt is a terrible financial advisor. A simple framework is this. First, protect the foundation. Rent, food, savings, health, debt payments, business, emergency fund. Second, define the giving limit. Not from pressure, from the actual budget. Third, separate emergency from habit. If it keeps happening, it is not just an emergency, it is a system. Fourth, help in ways that do not destroy the helper. Give less, give once, help with planning, pay directly for the need, or refuse when the pattern demands it. Fifth, accept that some people will misunderstand the boundary. That is part of the price. But the price of having no boundary is much higher. Without boundaries, years can disappear while you build other people's stability and leave your own life unfinished. One day, anger may appear. Not because help was given, because you disappeared inside the helping. The goal is not to abandon family. It is to stop abandoning yourself in the name of family. There's a difference. Generosity does not require availability for every crisis. Love does not require permanent financial openness. Success does not mean becoming the family bank. Respecting where you came from does not mean letting it consume where you are going. If you are still trying to become financially stable, learn this early. Do not wait until expectations grow around income that has not even made you safe yet. Start creating boundaries before pressure becomes normal. If you're already the successful one, changing the pattern may feel difficult, but difficult does not mean impossible. People may resist, complain, say you changed. Sometimes change is exactly what is needed. The version that says yes to everything may be loved by everyone and still be quietly falling apart. You do not have to become cold. Selfishness is not required. Helping does not have to stop. But clarity has to begin. Clear about what is possible, what is not, what is love, what is guilt, what is support, what is enabling, what protects the future. Building stability is not only about making money, it is about protecting the money long enough for it to change your life. If family truly wants you to rise, they must eventually understand this. You cannot become the bridge out of struggle if everyone keeps taking pieces of the bridge before it is finished. So build, help where you can, give with wisdom, set limits without hatred. And remember this, you are not betraying your family by creating financial boundaries. You're trying to break the pattern properly. And to break it properly, the person carrying the pattern must not collapse under it.